Hello, followers and Twitchers. Spath here. It's the 16th of July, and continuing on with our micro limits. Today I'm at a 10 cent, 25 cent table over at Full Flush. If you're not a member of Full Flush, please use the banner on my page. I'm not the affiliate manager there, but I work with the affiliate manager there, and he's offering lots of free rolls and special money added events during the month, every month. As you can see, you can sit with $25 at this table. If you look around the table, you can see that some people have some decent amounts of money here to make money. A couple of short stacks that are going to push all in. Now this is a gap or an early position. I can't limp with this. I can raise with it, so I'm going to make it a pot bet. And then I'm going to look at everybody else and see what they're doing. This other guy here, Cato, his plan is to just get all his money, and he likes to double up, hit and run. Here I was, I won by just being aggressive in early position. When you play those kind of cards out of position, micro limits. Today I'm at a 10 cent, 25 cent table over at Full Flush. If you're not a member of Full Flush, please use the banner on my page. You definitely are taking the chance. And I hear a background noise, so let me see if I can't mute that for you. Special money added events during the month. I'm going to have to expand this. As you can see, you can sit with $25 at this table. This one I want to expand. I just didn't do the right one. Some decent amounts of money. I'm going to mute it over here. Sorry. I'm going to mute there. Go back to where I was. I do apologize. I'm just learning how to do this system, and I'm not very good. So let's try that again, and hopefully there'll be no feedback. Like I was saying, if you play a hand like 5-6 suited or something in early position, if somebody does call you, you have the luxury of being able to continuation bet because they're going to put you on high cards, and you can make the board work for you. So it's not all lost. Here I've got the 8, but that's the bottom end, and I don't really want to chase that, so I just throw it away. Queen comes, and I think he might have a king. So again, we want to put players on hands, and when I teach poker on here, I'm not just playing poker like some of the other people that are on Twitch. I want you to fully understand, and I don't even think that's worth putting in 15 cents against a guy that has a $4 stack. He might just shove on me, and I'm definitely not going to play those cards. I'm on here to teach you some basics, to reinforce some principles to you. I may go over them several times, but that's only because I want to drive them home. Again, here's a limp or an early position. I happen to know this guy here. He'll do this sometimes with kings, hoping somebody else will raise so he can come over the top. More than likely, though, he's got a suited ace. He's got a mid or lower pair, and he wants to see a flop cheaply. But he is known in early position to do exactly what I said, limp and then come over the top. So he checks. There's no flush. There's no straight draws on the board, so we don't have to worry about that. This person checks here who put the dollar in, and then this guy checks again here. I would think he's going to make a shot at the pot, because that 5 didn't help anybody. So he might go 2 1/4, something like that. He only goes 159, which is half the pot. He thinks he can get it done with half the pot. I don't like that bet. I like 2/3, 3/4. It can be still influential, but it's really not a good bet. He's just trying to manage the pot and keep it small. Again, I'm in late position. I have got good position. First in, I could raise, but at these stakes, most of the time, I'd like to have a little better. If this was Queen 10 here or Queen 9 suited, I might try something. I don't want to give them the impression that I'm just here to steal. Oh, soft top, high Nido. Glad you made it. I hope you listened to some of the other recordings. I had some feedback from a gentleman in Australia yesterday saying that putting players on hands was difficult, and I was explaining it in a way that really made sense to him. So thank you, Peter, in Australia. Again, this is a hand that's really unplayable. But every time we're not in the hand, we want to watch other people that are in the hands and see what they do from their position and try to put them on hands. That's the key to this. You know, we sure like to win money while we're doing the training event and stuff like that, but I'm mainly trying to impart information. So there's your raise from late position. The guy only has 396. For anybody to call here or to set mine with a medium pair, they'd be silly because they can't get their money back. They can't get 10 times the dollar from this guy. It isn't worth it. They can only attack him if they have big cards or a big pair. Well, there's that queen nine that I said I would play in a late position if I was first in. I would normally not play it from this position at all. There's a raise, so it's easy to fold. I would think that if he did a pot-sized bet here, he's got ace king, ace queen, or a big pair. But let's just say he has ace king here, and let's assume that's one of the grouped hands. You want to put a person on 2 or 3 hands. He would then fire in here more than half the pot. He's just doing half the pot. This guy's sticking around. He may have a draw for the diamonds. He may have an 8. He may have had something like 10 jack, and that queen tuned up his hand. Got 3 draws out there, the diamonds, you got the spades, you have the straight draw. So that's a green light for him to go ahead and bet and value bet the end. He thinks his hand is worth it. He gets paid nothing for it. You noticed I had the queen 9 of diamonds. Would have worked out pretty good probably. So again, I'm not in the hand, but that doesn't mean we can't learn from what's going on at the table. So if you turn your attention away and you're not watching what's going on, if you're not putting players on hands or interpreting bets, then you're letting an opportunity go by and you're not improving your game, and you're going to have leaks or holes in your game. That's just the way it is. He checks immediately, he should bet. And just heads up, somebody checks, bet. Doesn't matter if you have anything, just bet. He would have been better off with one person to bet the pot and bet $2 rather than $1. Checked again, he should bet. He should be betting over $3 here. He's sticking with 2/3. He's getting this guy calling. This guy's calling because he's got a little bit of something or he's got a draw. If this guy busted here, this guy will still call him down. He had the ace. This guy didn't. He must have had the queen, or he had. Yeah, he must have had the queen and maybe another draw with it. Something like queen jack. He was hoping to get to a straight. At the low limits, as you noticed in my video yesterday, you cannot sometimes get out calling stations. They will stay to the end with bottom pair, middle pair, and draws. So you need to charge them more. If you've got a dominant hand, don't be afraid to charge them if they're going to stay. That'll make up for all the times they do suck out on you and you lose some money. So be prepared. I imagine this guy's going to limp right here. He limped last time. Let's make him pay and see if he wants to pay, and he won't do no limping anymore. You know, sometimes you can put 15 cents in because your hand is okay, but you're out of position. Then all of a sudden it's $1 and it's 75 cents on top of the 15. Then you change your mind and you go away. Like that. A client asked me the other day if I was in the blind like that and had pocket sixes, would I do the same thing? And the answer I told him was no. The reason I wouldn't do that and want to take it down pre-flop, especially if the guy had $20, $30 that I can get way past my money if I set my, is because, and this guy min raised in the beginning. I don't like that min raise at all in that position. I'm going to see if I'm going to take a flop here. Not getting the great odds, and I'm out of position, but I like the 8-9. This is just a personal preference. I just got to watch out this guy doesn't just push it in there and squeeze my ass out. My best flop here would be 7-6, 10. That's not bad, but let me tell you, these are touching cards, and that means other people are playing cards that touch these cards too, like King 10. So if I get a 10, that doesn't hurt me. If I get a 10 and someone's playing Ace King, then I'm in big trouble. So he went in for 113, which isn't much. He's going to put the rest in more than likely. He goes over the top. I can't go for a gutter here, so I have to fold. He should have never put that much money in and then folded. That was more than a third of his stack. That's not good stack management at all. Here I will raise the pot. Even if I get a late raise from one of these guys, I'll come over the top of them. I want to establish my position. I want to inform them I've got a bigger hand, even though I might not have a bigger hand. He goes all in, I'll definitely call him. That's not a problem. If the guy like this goes all in or he goes all in, I can throw away the nines. It's the second time he did that, and he's out of position. When a person out of position does that, they got a mighty big hand. For me to call here, I'm going to hit one of two outs. I'm 7-1. I don't have the odds to call this 350. Okay? But for demonstration purposes, normally I would fold this. I'm going to call this to show you something after the flop. If he's got a big pair, he's going to take a lot of my money here. I'm going to bet 3/4 of the pot and see if he wants to stick around. If he goes all in, he's got me. So he's saying he's got pocket queens, pocket kings, or pocket aces here in all instances. I'm going to fold my hand down. So I spent $8 where I shouldn't have spent the $8. I would have, and I should have folded once he came over the top. When a blind comes over the top of you, they've got it. All right, you've got to remember that they have it. I like the hand, but I don't like it that much. But if I'm going to play it, since it's just everybody's sitting out here and we're short, I'm going to raise. Again, I don't want to have to chunk it all in with this guy with Jack 9. I would put it all in with a 9-9 against him. All right, again, we're playing short-handed. This is like Ace-Jack, and in this case, I'm just going to raise it like I had Ace-Jack. I'm going to have position on either one of these blinds if they stay in, unless they re-raise me, and then I might have to get out. He's almost getting the right price here. It's going to cost him 35 for 145. You know, 4 or 5, almost 5-1 on his money. He calls. At least I got a gutter. I don't like it because I don't have a club. So I'm going to bet the $1.35. I want them both gone, at least one gone right here. My luck, I got nobody gone. There's one of my clubs. If I had one more club here, I would have been right in good shape. Now, because I picked up the 6 and the 10 as a straight draw, I'm going to refire again. So I got a double belly buster. 10 or a 6 and not a spade. 10 or a 6 and not a spade. We'll see if someone has the 9-10. I'll go broke on it. But I don't think they stay with the 9-10, but because if they had the 9-10, they had the straight on the turn. He may have the 9. He may have King 9 suited or something like that. I'm just going to call here. I'm not going to go over the top. And I called it the King 9 suited. So we got to chop up this guy's money. No harm, no foul. See a flop with the Queen 8. If he checks, I'm going to bet half the pot just to see if these guys have low cards and they'll go away. If they stick around, I still got to redraw and I still got a pair. I could make 2 pair, I could make 3 of a kind. But if you have 2 or less people and you put money out there, you put them to the test. Instead of you checking and then you giving a free card or they checking it or betting into you, then you don't know how you there you pick up a pot just like that. It's the little things that help offset the blinds that are going around at a sick pace, very fast online. So let's look at it. It's 60 cents right now. It's 15. So I'm going to get 4 to 1 on my money, right? He raised it, but if he called there, that would have been 85 cents for 15 cents. Even though my cards are awful, even though my position is awful, it might have been tempting. Now it's an easy fold. Nigel, I hope the sound and everything is coming through okay on the recording. Got a lot of people sitting out over here. Again, this is not a good hand, but I'm in good position. If nobody comes in, I definitely will raise with this hand. It's not great, but if you're first in on a button, it's not too bad. Now it's worthless to me. I mean, I could have re-raised. I can't call in that situation. Even though his raise wasn't that big. A 9-10 is a decent hand in a late position. This guy's short here. If I go to play it, I'm going to raise with it. Again, you raise with it in late position. A lot of times you're unchallenged. How many times do you have to do that and make 35 cents or whatever your blinds are at whatever table you're at before you make your money back on what you might get caught doing it sometimes? Of course I'm going to do it again. Of course I'm going to do it to him with his min raise. He could have been all in. I wouldn't mind that at all. I won't mind if he goes all in. I'll take my chances with the ace king here. Guy like this would go all in with pocket eights, with ace jack suited. He might even go with ace 10. So I'm going to follow up because there's only one person here. I'm going to do a full pot bet. I want to influence him out right now. I don't have anything. I'm not going to fool around with that half pot like I was showing you other people were doing earlier. This is a piece of junk. I'm going to throw that away. I can't get into the time delay and the comments that come up in chat, but of course other people are going to see the chat later on. I see the one from Love Rose 86. I'm not sure about what the information he does say there about the income from streamers, but we'll check them out later on. And thank you for the input. And I hope you follow me and tell others. If you haven't joined Full Flush Poker, one of the banners on the site, you should today. They have a $500 free roll this week and a whole lot more by heartbeatpoker.net. So this is an easy fold. They also are doing some things on a Bitcoin site, and they're also doing Ace High Radio, so they're broadcasting music, and sometimes they have some special guests on that show. I am not an affiliate with those sites. I just know the people, and I just tell you what a good deal is and pass it on to my clients and my followers and fellow players. I will be doing a live uh, game on Skype at True Poker probably next Saturday around 10 o'clock Eastern time. Those that want to get in that game, because we're not going to let anybody else in because it will be Skyped. We'll talk about hands, not in progress, but we'll just talk about different things similar to what I'm doing here. But it'll be a low micro game, and you'll have to sit with your own money. If you're interested in that, you'll have to email me at alspath@alspath.com and give me your Skype name, and I'll put something up. I'll put something up in Facebook on my Alan Spath. I'll put that down right here in the message so everybody knows my Facebook page and they can get in contact with me. It's Alan Spath, not Al Spath. And then you can see when I am scheduling some training. Unless something comes up, it'll be next Saturday at 10 o'clock Eastern time at True Poker. I'll be doing some no limit cash games. I'll be doing some stud cash games, 7-card stud high. I'll be doing some low entry sit and goes as well. So if you're interested in that, please join us. Those of you that are listening and watching this video later on after it's been published and put into the library here, I hope you'll attend as well or pass it on to people. You have to contact me through the email and give me your Skype name, or you can add me my Skype name to you. It's al.spath, al.spath. Just need to put on there Twitch, teach GPL, and that way I know where you came from and I'll approve it. So here I got a pair of jacks. I don't like my position. I really don't like jacks that much. Mark Safe at one of our conferences, and some of you have heard me say before up in Vegas, he said he treated jacks like eights. Well, in this particular case, anytime you're out of position and you raise, you should raise a little bit more than when you're in position, because you got other people to act and you're always going to be out of position. So you really want to charge them and define their hands. If they go away, that's okay too. Now, he didn't go away. Doubt very seriously. He's got the sevens. Gonna fire. Pick up the pot. About a half hour into this presentation here today. You may not get something out of every presentation. I got position here. Cards aren't that good. I could limp, but I feel like it's just not the thing to do. You know, limping is for losers, and I'd rather be aggressive and attack the limpers. But anyhow, in any of my videos that I put out, whether I win, whether I lose is not what you're coming to see. And sometimes I'll win, sometimes I'll lose, sometimes I'll make a mistake, and sometimes I won't. It's explaining how to put players on hands, explaining about position, explaining how to steal, how to semi-bluff, how to take advantage and read other people's hands and understand and interpret what their bet sizes are and try to come up with when it's a good decision for you to do whatever you're going to do. So we got all these different factors we have to cover, and we might repeat it several times. So you want to learn poker and you want to move up, and as I teach the low limits, of course I'm going to continue to go up in stakes. You have to stay with me at the low limits and understand the dynamic as it changes from the 5 cent, 10 cent to the 10 cent, 25. You noticed here it's a little bit more aggressive pre-flop. You see a lot less people in the hands. That's because the money is bigger and they're valuing it. And when you're down at the lower limits, they don't value money. They just play the money. It's more entertainment. As you go up to 25 cent, 50, you'll find that even that becomes a tighter table unless you have, the right scenario at night where you have a bunch of loose players at the table and people have been drinking and money's really flowing. And you'll figure that out. You can go to the lobby and you can always look and check out the average pot size for a particular table and determine whether it's loose or tight. If it's really big for the size of the blinds, like here's 25 cents. If the average pot is, let's say 10 times that's 250 or more, you know that people are being pretty aggressive, and you can check also the percentage of who's seeing the flop, like 35% or 40. You know how many people are getting in, and you can determine some factors right from the lobby, and I'll show you right here in a second. You see on this table here that we're at right now, we've got a $5 average pot. Okay, if you divide the 25 into the $5, it's going to go 20 times. That's 20 times on your money. That's a big average pot, but only 22% are seeing the flop. 22%. Here's one down here, 33 at a 25-cent 50. A third of the people are seeing the flop on that. So we know that you're going to have to do some things pre-flop on that table. On this particular table, you can get people out. 22% only seeing a flop. That means that your bets carry more weight pre-flop. So I think now with the guy with 281 and the guy with 518, the guy with 515, excuse me, if he hits his hand here, he's got a big hand, he's going to value bet into it. He's not going to check, excuse the advertisement, and he ran into a brick wall. Lucky he ran out of money for this guy. If the table dissolves itself in the next couple of minutes and goes to nothing, then I'll end the broadcast and we'll do another one at another time. But right now we still got people playing. I'm going to definitely pot with this. I don't think this is such a great hand, but we're playing so short, and I'm second in the pot. Got people sitting out. I need to charge them to play. I want to get position, which I did. I've got two pair, which I did. Now, if they have pocket fours, I'm definitely going to get beat. But I got to find out where they're at. If they got Queen Jack, they're not going away, so I got to charge them a full amount. Because these are cards in the playing zone, and people play Ace Jack, and they play Queen Jack, and they play Queen 9 and Jack 9 suited and things like that. That shouldn't help anybody here. So he's got $7 left. I'm not going to give him much of a chance for anything here. Let's see if he'll want to put it all in. Hope he has a weak king or a king 7. He does not like, there you go. We'll see what he got. If he's got the 4s, I'm beat. He's got trip 10s. How are we about that? He got me good. The chance of him having a pocket pair of 10s with me having a 10 were very slim. You notice I never even said anything about 10s. So he got me good. But those are the chances you take when you play, a hand like King 10. I hit exactly what I wanted, the king and the 10. It would have been much better for me just to hit the king, not the 10, as it turns out. But that's poker. You're not going to win every hand that you get into. But hopefully you'll learn something from that. Cost me $9 to play king 10. Could have easily thrown it away, and a lot of people will say, "Why would you throw away king 10 a short table?" And they would be right in saying that. If you're going to play it, you got to be aggressive. I was aggressive. He had 10s. He wasn't going away. 3-2 on the big blind is suited. Is not a bad hand. Just don't need a big raise. People never put you on the 3-2. Patcher's got a mark next to him. Let's see what it says. He's awful. So we'll just have to find out about that. If someone's awful like that, I want to make sure I got full money at the table. Today he decides to fold. Here's another thing about online poker. You never know who you're playing against. This could be the husband, could be the wife, could be the daughter, could be the son. You don't know each time who you're playing against on which account. They're not supposed to do that, but let's face it, some people do it. Some people go bust on their account and then their spouse or somebody says, hey, can I get on? I just feel like I'm jonesing to play, and can I use your account to play? Now, I can't stay with that. So Cato's won here, and he took a lot of that from me on that one hand. I would think that by the time, just knowing him as a player, by the time he gets to the big blind here, he'll leave. What he does is he likes to hit and run. He likes to take the money and bank it and then go to another table and play with $5, $6 and see if he can do the same thing again. That's an easy fold. Poker is not easy as some people think it's easy. You could be making all the right decisions and still lose at poker. That's why when people come to me and say, "Oh, I'm going to give up my job and I'm going to go play poker for a living because I've had some success," I tell them, play poker. Keep your day job, or keep your night job, whatever it is. See how you do in poker over the long term. See if you can afford to pay the rent, the food, the car, the insurance, the clothing, the entertainment, and everything else with what you win from poker, and still build a bankroll. It's very difficult to do, so don't give it up just because you think, oh, well, I can cash at one of those big tournaments right away. Those are hard to cash at. I like the cards. I don't like this raise here or this call here. I got to feel I'm beat either in one or both places. My outs may be exactly what they already have. So I'd have a king with a jack kicker. I'd be up against ace king possibly. He's got 129. He might as well stick it in the pot if he has anything here. Sorry for those advertisements. You cannot shut them off at full flush, and they need to learn to fix that. So everybody checked here. He's going to bet. And it doesn't mean he has a king. He could be betting a 10. This guy could have a pair of queens here, and he just was afraid of the king on the flop. And when everybody checked, he got a green light. He had a pair of aces, and he wanted somebody with kings. See how I would have got crushed? And this guy didn't belong in there with ace 6. That was a good illustration of how you've got to, there he goes, the big blind. I told you he'd be leaving. He'd take that money and run. Got to know your opponents. I don't play that much on here, but I know that guy. So now we're down to 5-handed. I'm going to follow that up with a pot bet. I'm going to try something here. I'm going to limp in and see if I can't get somebody to raise me. See if I can set a trap. There he is, but he's only got $5. So we're going to raise this up and see if Patch wants to play. Nope. Only the 7 only. So that's the matchup I wanted in that situation. I wanted the bad player to come in as well. He didn't bite. I thought that if he went in, that would be enticing to him. Again, he's in late position. Doesn't mean he has anything here. I'm out of position. Cards aren't that bad. I'm going to defend in this particular case. I'm going to bet into him and see what he does with this bet. Okay. He answered my question. I asked the question. If he answered it. He definitely had king, queen, or higher. Well, this is garbage. Let's see what Googleplex has to say here on his notes. Wide range razor. So let's see if that holds true. 10 jack. What does he think he has? Queen 10. 10 9. This guy can't call unless he has anything. He can't call king high. If he, I was going to say, if he just folded there. I might have just raised that the pot and attacked Googleplex. I would have been unhappy with that flop. Well, I've been broadcasting now for about 45 minutes, so what I'm going to do is take the auto post off. I think there's two more hands, and then I'm going to say goodbye. And there's a 45-second or higher to a minute and a half delay. So expect a delay at the end, and you'll hear the rest of how I finished. And I thank you for attending, and please have other people follow along. Again, here I got kings. I got a raise from early position. I'm going to go ahead and re-raise him the pot, figuring he's got a big ace here. He probably will stay. I'd really like Google or Patch to come over the top again. He's got like ace queen or something. Well, that's a good card for me because I've got the king of hearts. I'm going to check and just take the free card. If I bet and he does have the ace queen, he comes over the top, he puts me in a bad situation. I'm going to check again, and now I got the nuts. So I'm going to bet to see if he'll pay me off. If he's got a jack, he would pay me off there. I think if I had a bet earlier, I would have just lost him completely. So I'm going to fold here, and I'm going to leave. Even though I'm up to 30 and I started with 25, I did lose, and I put some money in. So it was a losing session. But if it was a winning session for you and that you learned something today, on July 16th, 2015, from Spath, Teach GPL, I'm happy for you. I hope you go out and crush some poker. And thank you all for attending. You're going to see my broadcast come up, but that'll be ending it.